What's up, everybody? Today I'm very excited to announce my guest. He's a UAB cornerback, a member of the Jim Thorpe Award watch list, and an honorable mention All CUSA cornerback. Just last season, Brontae Harris. How's it going, my guy?
Good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to have you on the show. So, you played both football and basketball back in high school, and in fact, you were the all-time leading scorer in Coleman County basketball history. Why'd you end up choosing to play football at the next level, and how'd you end up at UAB?
Well, it's crazy because, like, in high school, you don't really know what you want to do yet. I was kind of in a situation where it was like when I was playing football, I wanted to play football in college. When I was playing basketball, I wanted to play basketball in college. And basketball was always after football season. So, like, my senior year, like, I was really thinking, like, I just came off like a good Elite Eight appearance. Like, our team was really good. So actually, coming out of high school, I actually signed to play basketball at Alabama A&M, and I took that path just because, like I said, like when I'm in basketball season, I think I'm Steph Curry, but when I'm not, then I'm Jalen Ramsey. So I chose basketball, whatever, and like my heart really wasn't in it. I kind of realized that quick just by all the the workouts, and it wasn't that I couldn't do it. It was just I didn't feel like the love of the game like I did for football. So like around that time, after my first semester there, UAB had reinstated the program. The program got shut down, so they were reinstating it, and I'm seeing that they were like starting back up or whatever. So I ended up getting the info of the coach and all that, and ended up walking on there. And that was that transition. I had to kind of like tell my family like, hey, I'm on a scholarship here, I'm gonna go here to walk on. So it's kind of like they was always telling me like I'm leaving something for nothing, but I just felt like that vision, like I just had it in my head and I had to follow it. So came in at UAB, walked on. It was different, not playing football for that time, being on the basketball court. Like I had to get back used to it, I had to get adjusted to it. I ended up like we had Darius Williams at the time. That's like my big bro, and I ended up like getting real close with him at the time. And like I knew he was gonna be as good as he is now, like everybody sees, but not everyone knew at the time. But like he was teaching me stuff after practice, before practice, during practice, like on the sideline. Like I just like followed him around, tried to learn as much as I could from him. So like my that spring went by, and then the following summer I ended up getting on scholarship, and that was headed into our first season. So like that was big, and I was a redshirt freshman at the time, and we had Darius and we had a couple good older guys too. So I didn't really play much as a freshman, but I learned a lot. Like I was really at practice, I was getting tons of reps. I did play, like I started a few games, but I didn't start every game, of course. But it was a good experience, just being able to take in all that I learned from him at the time. We were roommates on the road when we traveled, even when we was at home, when we stayed in the hotel, we were roommates. So like just being able to say that is like big, because like all the success he's having now, like it's crazy. But yeah, so that kind of like summed up really like how I got there and how I chose basketball, then football, and ended up here. So then after that freshman season, that was my first season, like kind of being that guy, like taking that leadership role, like starting. So that's where we got into after that.
Yeah, man, it was a great decision too, because you've just been absolutely balling the hell out at UAB. Quickly became one of the
Appreciate
top
that.
cornerbacks, not just on the team, but in the nation. Kind of how's that feel? You kind of mentioned how you followed Darius around everywhere, and now obviously he's balling out in the league. Kind of,
Mhm.
how's it feel now that you're finally kind of in his shoes, where you're the one balling out, and he's just kind of watching like the proud papa up there in the league.
Man, it's really like it's crazy, like just to see how fast like it changed. Like one second you go from like being a walk-on, like being a freshman, like not really knowing anything. Then you're a senior and you're like on all these lists, and like, you know, it's really a blessing. Like, first and foremost, it's a blessing. Like, God brought me a long way. I prayed a lot, and you know, like, he answered. So like, first and foremost, I want to thank him for that. But it's really just been a blessing, like coming in here and having those people around me and being in that situation where I am able to get to this point that I'm at, and you know, be that guy, be that leader on the team, and you know, perform well on Saturdays, and like hopefully make Darius proud, my coaches, my family, you know, whoever. So it's really an honor and a blessing at the same time, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, prior to the season starting, you were named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list. How did it feel, kind of seeing your hard work pay off? You finally got some recognition. Obviously, last season you were on that honorable mention All CUSA list. And then coming into this year, you're one of the top cornerbacks to watch for you know, in the entire nation. Like, kind of,
Mm,
what'd you do like during the off season to really kind of prepare, keep yourself in good shape, especially during this
mm.
pandemic, in order to be on those watch lists?
Man, like you said, it was a pandemic this year, so it was crazy. Like, one moment we're in spring ball and everything's fine, and then we go on spring break, and now we don't even have a spring left. So like, at first it was like, okay, like you're sitting there and you're like, okay, like we're not having practice, so like I have to get myself ready outside of my coaches. Like, you have to just dig back in the drawing book and like, how did I get myself here? You know, like when I was a walk-on, like I worked real hard to even get to UAB in that transition. So I just put myself back in that mode. Like, okay, I'm getting up early. I'm getting 1, 2 to sometimes 3 workouts a day. Like, you know, early mornings running 4 a.m., 5 a.m., like working out, weights, all that, field work, all that. Like, just, and to me, I like that, honestly. Like, I like being by myself, like working out, like on my own schedule. Like, I feel like I get a lot better doing that because like I know my weaknesses, and like I know my strengths as well. So I feel like I know what to focus on, what exactly to work on whenever I do work out. So just tons of hard work, early mornings, late nights, and just, you know, preparing yourself, film study as well, like to be ready to take on this role this year. You know, I knew everything that was ahead, so I made sure I did the things I needed to in the off season.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of, whenever you do decide down the road, if you want to keep taking your talents to that next level, that's kind of, you're already kind of getting that next level of preparation. So that's one thing you can kind of take out of, this quarantine process, that you've already kind of
Right,
established how to be a pro, which is
right,
obviously very useful, because that's one of the biggest learning curves a rookie has to deal with once they
right,
get to that NFL level, is kind of how to be a pro. But, you're kind of already there.
for
Kind of take
sure.
us into what like a college football game day at UAB is like.
Man, it's I mean, this is my only college game day, of course, so like I don't know how everyone else's is, but it's like real traditional. You know, it's the South, so you know, there's tailgating, there's fans everywhere, like, you know, people like just real football fans, you know, hard celebrators, you know, big supporters. For us, it's intense. It's kind of because we're at the hotel, so you know, we wake up like it's game day, like we're doing meetings, we're doing walkthroughs, like we're making sure we're ready, like mentally, physically, you know, putting those final touches on. So like for us, like it's like a locked in type of mindset. Like as soon as we wake up, like we know we got the game, we know all the preparation we need to take care of before the game. So like we're locked in. But we get to the stadium, we see the fans get the Blazer wall, and it's a good feeling, you know, just having that support everywhere, like people shaking your hand, you know, just seeing like real support and like people like actually involved in what you're doing and what you put so much work into, like it feels good. So I mean, the tailgate, you know, the game, the cheering, the fans, the band, all that, it's amazing. At Legion, you know, we had the uh 21 win home streak that we just lost this year, you know, but that was our first loss since the program came back at home. But like that game day has always been special at home for sure.
Yeah, sounds lit, man. So, carrying on with that lit vibe, who do you have on your pregame playlist that just gets you amped up, ready for them games, bro? What
Young
bopping
boy
to?
for sure, number one. Little baby on there.
Okay.
Um, Money bag a little bit. Um, Gotta put Pooh Shiesty. He knew, but I don't really like him. So like a lot of bangers. Like I ain't really with the slow music, like like the slow pace, like keeping yourself calm. I like to like get in that
Fired up.
mode. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So,
sure, for sure. Yeah, and then Dajan's playlist was kind of fired too, man. I know y'all
yeah.
are roommates, so
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
y'all
we
got
be
some
putting each
tunes.
other on to different music, you
Yeah,
know.
there you
So
go,
we
there
try
you go. For sure. Who do you try? What NFL guy? Maybe not NFL guy, just player, either all time, current, whatever. Who do you try to model your play style after? Who do you like try like I don't know, trying to watch film on, try and take bits and
yeah.
pieces from?
I'd say Darius Slay first. You know, Jalen Ramsey, my favorite corner. Don't get me wrong, but not everyone is 6'2", you know, long. Like, you know, not everyone's like that. So I try to like model people like, you know, that I kind of like body type can fit. And Slay, like he's a good example to me just because like he's a technician. Like he focuses a lot on technique and you know, at the line, winning the line of scrimmage and being patient and being poised during the route. So I would say him, and he make a lot of big plays, like make plays on the ball. He's smart. He has got IQ. So like I pride myself on like technique and IQ. So for sure, I have to say Slay.
Yeah, so I would agree. You know, I see a lot of Darius Slay in the way you play too, so
Yeah,
it's
for
paying
sure.
off. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, no worries. Who's the best player you think you've ever played with, and then the best you've ever played against? That's a
Ooh, that's
tough
a
one.
good one. Yeah, cause that championship team we had, I played with some real good guys. Some guys one of our defensive tackles still in the league, Anthony Rush. That was he was really really good. Either him or Darius as the best two players I played with. Probably say Darius though, because I'm a little biased for him, but and he played my position. But either Darius or Anthony Rush for sure. And against, that's a tough one. Let me think on that one. Against I'll probably say Rico Bussey. He was receiver from North Texas. He transferred to Hawaii, but he was really good, like complete receiver to me, like speed, hands, agility, you know, knowing how to get off the press, use his hands. So I'd probably say him so far.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of what was it like winning that championship a few years ago? What was that
Man, it
like?
was
Just kind of take
surreal.
us into that.
It was surreal because just like I told you, like when I got here, the program was just starting back. Like we didn't have our facility we have now. Like we didn't have a lot, and like nobody seen the vision really, but us. Like we was practicing and all that. Like without games, like sometimes you know just to prepare. So it was surreal. Like just to see how like hard work can pay off. Like really hard, dedicated work, and like people hungry for success, you know, and just make history here. Like that was the most surreal thing about it was just making history, you know, and being there, being able to say we brought a championship back to Birmingham, like being able to wear those rings and like have that stuff forever. So like definitely surreal memory for
For
sure.
sure. What do you think is your favorite college football memory?
That's a good one too. Let me think on that. Favorite memory, probably going to the Bahamas Bowl. Cause like I've never been to the Bahamas, and I don't think I was ever gonna go outside of football. So the fact that we got to go and play football at the Bahamas, stay at Atlantis, like for a week, everything paid for, like it was amazing. Like just the places football can take you. So like definitely Bahamas Bowl experience. And I was a freshman, so I was like, if college football is like this every year, like I'm gonna love it. So
Yeah, bro, that
Definitely
freshman
that.
year, there was another play in contention, man. That first career interception went to the
Oh
crib. I
yeah,
thought you were
see,
gonna
I
say that.
was about to say that. I was gonna say a pick six, but the Bahamas Bowl, that was just different. Like, cause that was good football and outside of football too. Like, just being with my friends, my brothers, and like being somewhere like that. Like, that's just stuff you're gonna remember forever.
For sure, for sure. One last question for you, boss. Any
Okay.
advice to those young athletes out there chasing their like Division 1 football dreams? Maybe they're playing basketball, maybe they're playing football in high school. They don't know which one to choose from. What kind of advice can you kind of give those guys?
Man, first and foremost, you gotta pray. Like, the only way you're gonna be successful is if you keep God in your life first. And then after that is just work hard. Like, even God said, like, if you work hard, He gonna reward you. Like, hard working hands, He rewards. So just being dedicated, being consistent, um, making a plan, like making a routine, making a plan, sticking with it, like being diligent with it, and just praying. Like, you do that every day, and like you're consistent with it, you're gonna come out successful. But you gotta be patient too. Like, it come with patience as well. So I think if you put all those things together and you really believe you can succeed, then you will.
Yeah, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Brontae Harris gonna be balling. He's still balling, gonna keep balling. You already
Yes,
know.
sir.
Thanks for your time today, brother.
Appreciate that, man.